Hey there, my name is Jade and welcome to my space. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you a flip through of how I used my journals in the month of July. And yeah, let's just get into it. So first I'm going to show you my planner. This is the Sterling Ink Common Planner, the horizontal version. And I used this very well in the month of July. I did my quarterly goal planning for Q3 and then I did my July goals. I need to update my August goals. That's why there's the sticky note here. And then I set up my habit tracker. I need to go back through the weeks and continue filling this out, but I did habit track for the whole month, which I'm really proud of myself for. And then I set up August as well, and I just need to go back and do that. But yeah, so that is the habit tracking, I guess. And then going into the monthlies, here's what July looked like. I put both my quarterly goals and my July goals here, and then for the month of August I'm just gonna put my August goals, but I decorated it a little bit because I didn't have anything going on. And then I put one of my stickers here. This is my musical memory stickers. It has Honeybee by Olivia Rodrigo written on it, and yeah, I really like how this spread turned out. It's very simple. Most of these are the new washi tapes that I got from Nico Neko, so I just put those down, but really like how this turned out. It looks really cute. And then for the month of July, my weeklies, this is what they look like. So this is like the first week of July. One of my goals was a no spend, so I put my no spend rules here, which was no fast food, no stationery, no hobby supplies, and no manicuring supplies unless they were super necessary. Then I had like another sticky note with my goals, my stickers floating around, my weekly focus, my habits, my to-dos. And then for those of you guys who don't know what my planning system is, what I do at the beginning of the week or like on a Sunday night, I will write down my weekly focus, my habits, and my to-dos, and as the week goes on, I will fill out this side of the page. Here's the second week. I made a video of me making this spread and explaining my planning system, so if you want to like watch that video you can, but this is what it looks like now that it's all filled out. And then here's the next week, a bit more tame. And then here's the next week. I kind of fell off this week just because I was going through stuff personally. Not like anything dramatic, I guess, but just, not having a good time. I'm not going to harp on that too much, but yeah. And then here is the last week of July, and yeah, this is it. And I have to fill out August. Like I said, I'm a little bit behind on that, but I will get back to that. And then I think what it was is that in the month of July, I went through like a little bit of an identity crisis with my content, which is why I haven't like posted in the last 2 weeks. But I know what I want to do and what I want to be doing, but I rewatched a lot of my old videos and a lot of the videos that like inspired me a long time ago, and I kind of have an idea of what I want to do with my YouTube channel. I just need to get over certain personal mental hurdles in order to make what I want happen. But so that's kind of why I fell off in my planner a little bit, but yeah. But that is the month of August in my planner, and I do write in the back pages. I'm just not gonna show you that because it's not really interesting. Next I have my personal journal, and in here I have my memory keeper and then my personal journal. So I'll go through my memory keeper first. I decorated the cover, and I did film a video of me decorating the cover, but I didn't like how the footage turned out. The angle was like a little weird, so I never posted that. But this is what my cover looks like, and I really like how it turned out. And then I have a picture of me here when I was in Scotland earlier this year. So this little collage used to be here, and then I took it out and put it here, and then I made my intro page. This is a mixed paper journal, and what I used to do when I would start a journal like this was I would make a intro page and a goodbye page when I start and finish this type of journal. And so I made like 3 or 4 different iterations of this intro page and then finally landed on this one. I just didn't know what I want to do. Every other attempt looked ugly, and I feel like this is the least ugly looking one out of the ones I came up with. But yeah, it just has a picture of me. It says hello volume 10, and then I wrote like a silly little tangent about how I'm happy to be in a journal like this again and how I'm excited to fill it up with a bunch of happy memories and whatnot. So I made that spread, and then I filmed a journal with me of me making this spread, but it's basically me commemorating all of the Happy Mail that I got last month, or well, within the last couple of months, I should say. So that's like this little commemorative page. And then the next page, I made a spread about the EP Bite Now by Meow. Meow is one of my newer favorite K-pop girl groups, and by newer I mean newer like in age. They're only like a year, almost 2 years old, and I've been following them since debut, and this EP was really good. I know a lot of people didn't like it because they thought that D should have come out during like Halloween season, but as someone who likes spooky times all the time, why not put out a spooky song in the middle of summer? For me, it wasn't that big of a deal, but for the rest of the K-pop community, it was a hot mess. But regardless, loved this EP, had a lot of fun listening to it, and made this little spread. These two pictures are from their music video for D, and I wrote the track list here. I like all the songs, but favorite song would have to be my least favorite, but it's not a bad song either, so. And then I made this spread. This one I made at the beginning of August, technically, so I'll probably talk about it again next month, but I made a spread talking about all of the videos that I put out within the last month or two, and just kind of talked about how I was really excited to get back into making YouTube videos. And on this side I wrote like little blurbs about how I felt about each video and how well they did or didn't do. And yeah, so that is this journal. And then for my personal journal, I will show you like a couple of the spreads that I made. But yeah, this is my personal journal. It is the Tomo River paper insert by Serica from Serica Studios. I really like this insert, but sometimes the pen bleeds into the other side and it just kind of looks a bit weird, and I'll show you that. But other than that, I really do like using these journals, and I did buy a couple more in the month of July anyway. I think I just need to figure out like my favorite pen to use in here, because as you can kind of see here, I'm using the Hobonichi pen in this, right? And ballpoint pens are oil based, and I feel like the oil is kind of eating through the paper, and I don't know if that's like my fault that I'm doing something wrong, or if that's just the way that the pen and the paper are reacting, but yeah. So the first spread that I made for July was this one, talking about like the last 6 months of the year and like just some highlights from that time, just things that I want to make sure I don't forget. Then I made this entry about how I was doing pretty good and just needed to be kinder to myself, so I wrote that. And then I have this one about like me kind of freaking out about career choices that I made. Next I have this entry about me revisiting like some of the people that I used to watch. It's not that I fell out of love with their content, it's that these creators don't post anymore. So I went back and rewatched a lot of their old videos and got re-inspired and was reminded as to why like I make the videos that I do and how I want to be like an active participant and, I don't know, I guess like motivator or inspiration, I guess, in this community in the same way that these people were for me. So that's that entry. This entry was just like a recap of my week, and then I made like this longer entry, so a double page, about how I was feeling about my manicuring career. I use the term career very loosely when it comes to manicuring, but these are not my pictures. These pictures are from Pinterest. A lot of these pictures in this journal are from Pinterest. But basically I kind of wrote about how last year went with my nail career. Again, I use that term very loosely, but also how because my schooling was so poor and it put me under a lot of stress, how that like negatively affected me very deeply, and I just wrote about that here and just kind of had to get that off my chest and kind of give myself a little mental reprieve for feeling guilty about the fact that I'm bad at this per se. I have to remind myself that that's not entirely my fault and that the school is also responsible and that beauty school is low-key a scam like everyone said it was. So yeah, there's that. And then I wrote another little tangent about things that were on my mind. Here I tried to like, sometimes when I really want to journal but then I don't have anything to like write about, I will still try to make myself journal anyway. And this is one of those pages where I should have used a journal prompt but didn't, and I just kind of like wrote about a couple of things and like me going back to the gym and whatnot, and I thought this was going to be like a longer thing, but it ended up not being that. And yeah, and then this was like my last entry for the month of July. I wrote like a long entry about how I needed to stop overthinking and just do the things that I want to do. I'm like 90% certain I have undiagnosed ADHD, and I've been learning a lot about ADHD within the month of July as well. And I do have like an appointment to see a psychiatrist, or a therapist at least, this month. So I'm not going to speak too much about that until I get like my diagnosis. But sometimes with ADHD, you kind of just have to like do the action first and then let your mind catch up with you. And so for the last week of July, that's kind of what happened. I made my body move first, and then I let my mind catch up with me. And I talked about how that really worked in my favor, and just talking about like how I want to do certain things. And I also talked about like certain things going on in like my personal life. And yeah, the purpose of me showing you like my personal journal was more so just to show you that how I like to decorate it, even though all of this is very writing heavy. As you can see, I put like these fun little black and white bubble stickers. These bubble stickers are from Daiso. Got them like a year or two ago. Or like how here I put my stickers, and then this Pinterest photo, washi tape. These little labels are from my dad's label maker. Even though I do like freak out about a lot of stuff in these journals and like talk about my day and whatnot, it also still has to like look cute to me. Things can simultaneously be both functional and cute, so that's kind of like why I'm showing you my journal. Those are my entries, and those are like the bigger updates of my journal for the month of July. I also did swap out my pen. I found this in storage. This is the 2019 N1H pen, and I put a refill in here, and I'm using this as my main pen now because it's cuter. So next I have to show you my commonplace and my travel journal, and I'm just going to flip through this super quickly because I didn't do anything in my commonplace. I do have a little bit of ideas for what I want a commonplace about, but I haven't put any like new entries in here yet. However, I did change my key because I think I'm going to have my commonplace be truly a place for education only, because at first my old key was this. It was health and hobbies, or health and wellness, hobbies, movies, TVs, music, etc., research, articles, quotes, and work. And then I changed it to health and wellness, manicuring, marketing, business, and finance. Just things that I want to like learn more about. And like I said, I haven't updated my commonplace since the last time I wrote in here, but I am thinking of changing this again. So that's this, and that's all that's changed in here. And then, like I said, I didn't do anything in the month of July for my travel journal either, but I think for the month of August I'm going to put like an emphasis on filling this up, because I don't want this to sit on my back burner too long and then I forget all of my memories and then have a hard time filling this out later down the line. I think I just want to finish this and then move on. So this is going to be moved to a like bigger priority in the month of August. So that's everything in here. And then I reintroduced 2 new journals into my system in July. So first is this one. This is the Junji Ito cover from Hobonichi. I bought this for a really good price, honestly, on eBay a couple months ago because I didn't want to miss out on having this cover. In here I have my like January through June weekly insert from Traveler's Company. I used this as my memory keeper for the first half of the year, and so like I said, I want to prioritize my travel journal for August. I also want to finish filling this up for at least my London trip for this insert, so then I can finally archive it. So that's sitting in here. But I also have my movie journal in here. Last year I set up a movie journal and I forgot about it, and when I was cleaning my room and like reorganizing a bunch of stuff, I found it again and I put it in this cover. Here's what it looks like. I wanted to put a movie ticket collage here. I haven't done that yet. Don't know if I will do it. So next I have like my movies watch spreads. So this is for 2023, 2024, and then 2025. And then I have my shows to watch. For last year, the only page that got filled up was this page. And so in July, I filled out the rest of what I watched for TV shows for here. And then I filled out 2026. And then I also finished filling this out for last year because I think when I stopped using this was around February, so I filled out March and throughout the rest of the year. And then I also added my 2026 movies, and these are all the spreads that I have in here so far. The rest of this notebook is blank, but I do have this small little list of things that I want to make spreads for in here. And then I also have photos for movies and TV shows that I want to journal about. So I have like Interview with the Vampire, Lord of the Rings, Pretty Woman, forget what this is, more Interview with the Vampire. These are my husbands. If you've never seen Interview with the Vampire, you should. 10 out of 10. But so I just have like this sitting in here, and the only reason why I haven't made the spreads that I want to yet is because I want to rewatch a lot of the movies and the TV shows that I want to make spreads about, but I just haven't been in a TV watching, movie watching mood yet. So that's kind of why this is still really blank for right now. But yeah, so that's one new addition. And then I'm giving my passport one last honest shot. Haven't started yet technically, but I probably will after this video. But I wanted to use this as a place to house like my gym notes. So this first little insert is the Travelers Company blank monthly insert. I was going to write out what workouts I did each day in this little monthly tracker, and then the craft paper folder which has stickers in it. And then I was going to have like this health-based commonplace book. This is the Sarah Studio insert. And I was going to use this to like have as a commonplace book, but just about health-based stuff. But then I changed the key system in my regular commonplace notebook, so I don't know if I want to have a strictly health-based commonplace in this little booklet, or if I want to go back to what I was going to do, which would just be like gym notes, but like more extensive gym notes than what I would put in here. So that's my passport size. I will update you in August with how it goes, but as of right now I haven't done anything yet, and I kind of just need to figure it out. But honestly, if it doesn't work out, then I'm just gonna archive my passport permanently and just have it like locked away until I'm like more ready or capable to use it. So these are my newest additions to my lineup. But then I want to add another new addition to my lineup, which would be a Halloween journal or like a spooky season journal. And I got this idea while watching someone else's YouTube video, and she was talking about how she was so over like the hot weather, and I completely understood where she was coming from. I think she lives in Spain, but I live in Southern California, and I live in the desert, and it's really hot where I live. It's gonna be hot till mid-October. It's been hot since like mid-April. It's been hot all freaking year. We even had like a random ass 3-week long heat wave in March, and I'm kind of just really over it being hot all the time. I'm tired of it being hot. I'm tired of the heat. I'm tired of summer. I'm just tired. And she was talking about how like she made a couple like spreads in her journal talking about spooky season and like things that she wants to do and whatnot. And so I kind of got inspired by her. This mixed paper insert is an insert that I made a couple years ago, and it has just a couple like spooky pages in it. As you can see, like this vellum, this black paper, again another spooky vellum, and then like this bat scrapbooking paper. And I made these for sale a couple years ago. I think I only sold one, but my thing is I kind of want to write about like spooky season and Halloween, and like just make up like a bunch of fun little different spreads to like get me in the Halloweeny mood. My birthday is also in October, and I teeter between Halloween and Christmas being my favorite holiday, but I feel like as of right now I'm leaning more towards Halloween being my favorite holiday because it's just a fun time. You get to watch a lot of spooky movies, eat a bunch of junk food, and you're not obligated to like buy people gifts or anything. You can dress up and all types of fun stuff. So that's kind of like where my head is at for this insert. I kind of just want to like make a bunch of fun inserts commemorating Halloween and doing a bunch of like spooky things and watching a bunch of horror movies and maybe like putting little reviews about them in here. And yeah, just something like that. I just need something that's like a little bit more, not creatively challenging, but just creatively different overall. I feel like I'm just craving something that's out of my personal norm, and I feel like this is that. So we'll see how that goes in the month of August. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. We'll see. But yeah, that is everything for this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions or anything, please comment them down below. And yeah, I will catch you in the next one. Stay gold.